Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? I was gonna go live. I didn't know which page would be better for me to go live on. So I went live on here because I'm really excited about the bracelets that I just created to go with this activity that I'm announcing. And then I'll save the video and share it on my other places. So thank you if you're watching the recording. I'm just going to give it a minute. First off, I'm going to shut off my husband's pager. And then I'm going to give a minute to see if anybody wants to join and watch live. Okay, hold that up. Let me shut that off. It's so funny because I don't ever hear it until I'm live and like, I forgot to turn that off. And we want some of these. Okay. So I wanted to talk about our buckets and our cups. I know some of you are like, what? Some of you may already have an idea as to what I'm about to talk about. But I wanted to talk a minute. Most of us have heard the notion of... Wait, before I get started, just a reminder, get the business stuff out of the way. Anything that I share in any of my videos, tips, tricks, or ideas, or any of the services are meant for spiritual entertainment and enlightenment purposes only. If you have any physical or mental health concerns, please seek a physical or mental health professional. As well as I have some music in the background if you can hear it. It's from indiemusicbox.com. Go check them out. Great stuff for meditation. And it is the stuff that I got was royalty free, so I can share it with you through my lives. Okay, so we've often heard the notion that we can't give from an empty bucket. The whole idea is this visualization or this image of a bucket, and that this bucket represents our energy level. It represents how much energy we have to give. Like, where is our energy at? How much empowerment, how much excitement, how much energy do we have to give to people is representative in how full this bucket is. And this bucket is our energy for ourself too, for our self-care and for our well-being and for our physical health, all of that. So the image of this bucket represents our energy level. And the notion is that if we give too much of ourselves, then our bucket is empty and we don't have anything else to give to the world. But yet we still sometimes keep trying to give from an empty bucket. Some of you may have heard the whole idea of a bucket or a cup. I know April from Courageous in Creation often shares the whole idea of like a teacup where you fill up your cup, and then what spills off of the cup, out of the cup onto the saucer, that saucer represents what you can share with the world. And she said she got that notion from Lisa Nichols. So I love those images as a very real image representation of where our energy level is at. So I feel like we are moving into a space where self-care is not just a novelty idea anymore. It is something that people are embarking on for their well-being, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And it comes in so many different forms. But how do we know where our energy level's at? If we are constantly going all day long between work and kids and home and family and in projects and in focusing on our thoughts and our process, it can be overwhelming. So how do we go through and find out where our energy level's at? Where's our bucket? And how often do we stop in the middle of our day and be like, okay, where's my bucket at? Where's my energy level at? How much do I have left to give? Because if we wake up in the morning and our bucket's on empty and we have a full day to go, then it's going to be hard for us to bring ourselves to help others and be present in those helpful moments if we don't find ways to replenish our energy along the way. So whether you take on the image of a cup or a bucket, I prefer to go with a bucket. I've always leaned into the whole idea of an energy bucket. And I guess for me, the bucket reminds me that I have a large capacity to do amazing things. And I want to make sure that it's filled up so that I can really offer my true self to the world. But I also think it's important for us to know where our bucket is at. Like I said before, if our bucket is empty, if we don't have a whole lot of energy, if we wake up in the morning without a whole lot of energy, whether it's emotional, physical, spiritual, whatever it is, to give to the world, then it's important for us to recognize that so that we can implement some self-care tools to fill that energy bucket back up, to fill us back up with energy and light so that we can give in a balanced manner with the rest of the world, and that we don't overgive and remove ourselves from being able to give wisely from the world. Then we're not sharing our true self, and we're sacrificing our well-being. And I think we all agree that we've gotten to a point where taking into account our well-being and our self-care is an important conversation for us all to have now. So I like the notion of being aware of where our bucket is. We all are aware of, okay, our bucket is empty, I need to fill it up. But that also brings up a couple other things that I would love to talk about. First of all, your bucket is empty and you need to fill it up. How do you fill it up? What works for you to fill your energy back up and to help yourself feel nurtured and cared for, and to help yourself renewed and empowered to move forward? As well as, what if your bucket is too full and it's overflowing and you don't have something to catch the extra? Or if it's that cup and saucer image, if your cup is overflowing and your saucer's full, you have a lot to give to the world. But what if it's falling out of that saucer and it's a flooded mess, and you've got so much energy and so much creative ideas that you want to share, and all of this stuff you want to share with the world, but you've got too much of it, that it's not focused? That's also a thing. I know for myself, I have all sorts of ideas all the time, but they sometimes become too much. So I have to calm myself, ground myself, and focus that energy, versus I can come up with all sorts of ideas, but if there's too much, it's overwhelming, and I'm not going to be able to focus on giving properly because I'm going to be aware of all of it. So wherever your bucket's at, empty, filled perfectly, overfull, whatever it is, I think it's important for us to be aware of that. As well as, I shared a comment, I shared a quote from Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell over on the Unique Meditation page, and I'm going to look it up and read it properly. I love the saying, if we fill up our lives right to the brim, then there's no space for the new to come in. So if we're looking to welcome in new ideas and new perspectives and new themes and new process and patterns into our life, maybe we want the perfect image of our bucket to be just under the brim so that we can welcome more in. And I think the needs of where our energy level's at, of where that image of the bucket would be or need to be, changes. So let me know in the comments below if this makes sense. But I love the idea of being aware of where our bucket is filled. And how do we fill it up? How do you fill up your bucket? Do you say you become aware that your bucket is empty and you've got nothing else to give to the world, and if you continue to give, you're going to be sucked dry. So, okay, I need to welcome in some self-care. I need to fill my bucket up. How do you do that? Do you do that by taking a few moments to read? Do you go for a walk? Do you fill it up with nourishing food and healthy exercise? Do you meditate? Do you experience Reiki? Do you go on a retreat? Or go on a virtual retreat, since you can't really go on a physical retreat right now? Or do you wrap yourself in a blanket and binge watch Marvel movies? You know, whatever it is that fills your bucket up, when you become aware of where that energy level is at through a visualization tool like bucket awareness or saucer and cup awareness, then we then get the moments to be mindful of, okay, my bucket is empty and I need to fill it up. What can I fill it up with? And we can start actively participating in that energy awareness. So I would love to take this opportunity to invite you to an activity that I'm going to be hosting for the next couple of weeks. And there's 2 different ways that you can participate in this activity. But what this activity is meant to do is help us embrace the notion of our energy bucket and be aware of where our energy level is at different times in our life. And what we'll be doing is the first version of this activity is going to be in a Facebook container, a Facebook group. And with this, I will share a live video where we go over, where I give you a guided meditation or a visualization tool of becoming aware of where your bucket is. And with this visualization tool, we're going to slow our breath down, take a few minutes to find our center, and then we're going to pull into our imagination and our awareness the image of a bucket or a cup and saucer, whichever one you feel drawn to. And we're going to be aware of, where is this bucket? Where is our energy level at in this bucket? Is this bucket full or is it empty? Is the energy in this bucket clear and ready to move into the world, or is it murky and filled up with extra stuff? So we're going to create a visualization tool or a meditation where we can become aware of where our energy level is at through the use of this image of the bucket. And then once I share that live, you have the option in this Facebook container to listen to that live or watch that live as often as you want, whenever you want, for the time that it's available. And we will also create a safe environment where you can share what you experience in this meditation as you go. So we can create a small group of individuals that can support each other with our like minds and our self-awareness of, where is this bucket at? This is what I experienced with this meditation today. And don't worry, it's not going to be super long. It's going to be maybe 6, 7, 8 minutes long, 10 at most. So it won't be something that's going to take up hours in your day, but it's going to give you a space to experience this meditation a couple of times throughout the week, and then to share in the group what you experience. Okay, I couldn't even see my bucket today. I saw my bucket yesterday and it was empty, but today it felt filled up. So then we can have a discussion about what you experience in the meditation and have an intuitive discussion about what it could represent for you. And as we talk as a group, we get to have that back and forth exchange. So I love that notion as well. So what we'll do is we'll create this Facebook container where you can join in and experience the meditation and share your experiences in the group. And then I will share my intuitive insight as to what that could mean for you, as well as I'll be sharing some cards and some inspiration as to different activities that you could use to fill your bucket up, and different awareness for ourselves as we continue to move forward into life with this bucket awareness. So it'll create a really great safe space for us to have this conversation. What I'll do with this Facebook container is it'll stay open for 2 weeks. I'm going to open it on Monday, and you'll have the availability to join from now until Thursday. Through Thursday, you can join this Facebook group, and you can join into this container for this activity. And once you've joined the container, then you have experience and access to all of the information that we share and all of the meditations and intuitive insight that we share in this container for the 2 weeks it's open. And it'll stay open for 2 weeks for you. It'll be available for you for 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks is done, I'll close down the group, and the activity will be done. So you'll have 2 weeks to experience this. The first week, I'll share the meditation and the intuitive insight. And then after the first week, I'll be there for some intuitive conversation, but we may not necessarily share as much intuitive insight that second week. So I really encourage you to participate in that first week where the nitty-gritty meatiness happens the most. but the information will be there for you to access for 2 weeks. So, as well as when you join into this activity, you will also receive one of these wonderful bucket awareness affirmation bracelets. And these bracelets are made with rose quartz, prehnite, and hematite. And I love these bracelets because the rose quartz always is a good representative of stress relief, love, self-love, and compassion. Hematite is always a good representative of grounded, protective energy, and prehnite is always said to be the stone, the healer stone. So I feel like the combination of these stones represent an affirmation that it's okay for you to take a moment and be aware of what you need for your own self-care. Be aware of where your energy level is at and to take the steps needed to nurture that energy. So you will receive one of these once we've completed our connection, and I'll send one of these to you in the mail, as well as I'll invite you into the group on Facebook. So you're like, okay, that's great. I'm not on Facebook. I don't really want to do the Facebook container. You can also do this one-on-one. And what we'll do with the one-on-one version is, I gotta find my dates. I gotta find my information. So what we'll do with the one-on-one version is I will share a pre-recorded video of the bucket awareness visualization activity or the meditation. And then you can take a few days to experience this. And we can do this through email. We can do this through Messenger, whichever works best for you. And you can take a few days to experience this meditation and to take notes of what you experience and how you feel and how it feels at different times of the day and different days of the week. And then after you've had a few days to experience this meditation, then we can meet together and we can discuss intuitively what you've experienced could represent for you. And we could spitball some ideas as to what activities help you fill your bucket up the most. And I will share occasionally some of those intuitive insights and inspiration that I'm sharing in the group. I will share a couple of them into the Messenger as well. So this being said, you have that option. For the one-on-one version, that would be $40. And for the Facebook container will be $30. And like I said, you get the meditation, you get the bracelet, and you get the intuitive connection for the 2 weeks. So I would love to invite you to experience this. If you are interested, message me directly and we can connect. And we can get these bracelets shipped out to you as soon as Monday or Tuesday once you've signed up. There's options for this payment through PayPal, through Venmo, as well as I can send you a Square invoice. So there's all different ways that we can connect. And this is an activity of self-awareness that you can do from the comfort of your own home. So I'm excited to share this with you, and I'm excited for us to move forward with a little bucket awareness and a little bit of self-care awareness and energy awareness. Where are we at? Where's our bucket at? And I think it's time we start taking a few moments to step back from life and be aware of where that's at and how we can move forward. So thank you for joining this live today. Thank you for watching the recording. And if you are interested in participating in this activity, message me directly here or on the Unique Beauty and Meditation Instagram or on Facebook, and we can get you set up and involved in this container. Thank you very much and have a uniquely beautiful day. As well as we will get one of these bracelets sent out to you as quick as possible. I have currently 3 made, and I'll be making a few more. And you want to get involved as quick as possible because we want to make sure that there's space for you. Because the one thing I want to do with this Facebook container is I don't necessarily want it to be flooded with people. So we're going to work at keeping it a nice, intimate group so it feels safe and comfortable for us to share and be open with each other. So as well as I only have so many bracelets that I'm going to be able to have available. So if you are interested, I encourage that you get connected with me ASAP so that you can get one of these bracelets and you can get involved in this activity. Thank you very much for taking the time to visit with me today, and I look forward to connecting with you and helping you understand where your bucket's at. Have a uniquely beautiful day.